Happy Flag Day. Today is June 14th, Flag Day. You know, a place where they've got a great flag display, Jackson College.
I noticed that the other day.
And our first guest on the show today is the president and CEO of Jackson College, Dr. Dan Phelan. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. Great to be with you.
Yeah, great to have you. It was a special day.
Oh, you're telling me.
And I was thinking, about your comments when you arrived on campus and there were no athletics. Mm-hmm. How quickly did you realize that you wanted to bring athletics back?
Well, it was actually the fact we didn't have athletics for like 25 years. It
Right.
had been shut down for a long time, and what I understood from the trustees at the time was that there was some difficulty, a little bit of a kerfuffle related to the fact that recruitment was taking place all over, people being recruited from New York and Chicago and California. And I think that there were some difficult financial times as well,
Sure.
and local families weren't having their kids played, and so I think that all kind of led to a decision, let's just shut it all down. And they did that, so really all of these spaces went fallow for about 25 years. And to your great question, Andy, I think that having served at another community college in Iowa as president, we had athletics, and I saw the impact of athletics on the student body there. I saw how the student athletes came with other friends. And we did a lot of research. I shared a lot of data with our board of trustees, and we found, as I shared the other night, that every student athlete brings about 2.8 students with them, friends who come along to that institution. So that was helpful. So they have a support system. And I wanted to make sure that we would have a system in place that would provide for local talent to play as well. So when I talked to the Board of Trustees about it, I said, this is the way we'll structure it if we can bring it back. And that is that we will have no more than 25% of the athletes from outside of the greater Jackson region. So we took the 3-county area, we added about another 50 miles, and then we said, this is as big as we want to be. That's where we're drawing from mostly, and we'll only go 25% beyond that to be able to have athletes. So the probability of student athletes playing was a lot higher, having more family there. I wanted to get more people coming to the community. And ultimately, the board thought that was a good idea. And of course, we needed to start slow, and we didn't have a lot of resources. So over the years, as we've gotten generous support from local companies, our coaching staff has done an excellent job in raising money to be able to help us, and we've just been growing and growing. And so we finally come to a point where we've made significant investments in athletes and scholarships, and obviously the facilities, which we officially opened.
Yeah, when you look at the rosters of the teams, women's basketball, for one, majority of students playing on that team are from right here in Jackson County.
Yes, and we're excited about that, and it's fun to have fans come in. Of course, we don't charge admission, so come one, come all, and let's just support the home team.
And now people will have another reason to come to Jackson College for sports. The beautiful new Jets Athletic Complex, which was unveiled on Monday. And it really is, it's unbelievable. We were there when Henry Ford Community College was there, and the kids walked off the bus and they couldn't believe what they were seeing. And they don't play typically in a facility like this.
I tell you, when I was driving down the road when I first came to Jackson College back in late 2000, looking around, I rounded the corner off of Hague Road onto Emmons, and it was pretty seedy over there. It was pretty tough, and I thought, but even if we don't have athletics, this is just not a good image to have. And I knew that we had to have a better curb appeal as well. It's just taken us a long time, and I have to acknowledge our Board of Trustees who've just been phenomenal leaders in our community. They have a grand vision for the kind of institution that we want to be for our students, and most importantly for our community, for the county, for the region. And they have a grand idea of how we should best position our institution, the investments we want to make. I also want to thank the Al Glick Foundation, who were very, very helpful and instrumental in helping us to be able to get this work done, and our local institution resources, our own Jackson College Foundation. A lot of people coming together to be able to make this possible. And of course, we've been hosting numerous tournaments on campus. First time we've ever had lighting on our campus as well, so being able to have tournaments into the evening, bringing groups into the area. We're also having lots of summer camps this year, so we're getting lots of kids into the space. And we've also encouraged local community groups, different teams that are having summer play, and they want to be able to experience these spaces. So
The lights turn on an app
They
in
do.
less than a second. Do you remember when you used to have to turn lights on 40 minutes before you'd have to use
Yeah,
them?
and they did the noise.
Those were those Field of Dream big
Yeah, it
cans.
was cool.
There'd
I
be
don't
a
know who had
buzz.
the app, and they.
It'd be red for a while, some smoke would come out.
Well, we're pretty fortunate that first day you drove down Hague that you didn't turn the car
Yeah.
around.
I
That's
agree.
kind of you to say. Kind of you to say. It was shocking. I rounded the corner, and of course, many of those buildings that were there today, weren't there. And so you just had that kind of broad image of being out in these cornfields, and we were pretty tired. And I think it reflected the best that we could have done at that time, the resources we had available, the students that we were serving. And I think it also represented a need to better connect our community college with the broader community.
Yeah.
I think that there had been some distance, and we sought work really hard to be able to repair that.
Now it looks like Oz.
No yellow brick road yet, but we can work on
but there's
that.
plenty of brick and the two-story
Yes.
press boxes, the dugouts. I have never seen depth. They're deeper than major league dugouts,
Yes.
and they're huge and
Well,
heated, of course.
Of course, yeah. That's what the coaches and the players really like, is having that radiant heat
Yeah.
coming down. But we actually sized it because think about the design time when we were doing this is during COVID, when we're
Right.
thinking about how do we have outdoor play and keep players apart. So we actually contemplated, multiple rows and some distance to be able to have players,
Interesting.
6 feet apart. And that's the size, but we thought, hey, this could work for other things
For
too.
sure.
We could add some storage in the back if we needed to.
Oh yeah,
Wedding receptions.
yeah, you could, definitely.
Bowling alleys.
No, it's gorgeous. I
thank you.
encourage anyone to go out and take a look because you'll be blown away. It's first class.
There was
Thank you.
a Tim Cook, Steve Jobs kind of moment at the end of your remarks. Oh, one more thing. And that was a big surprise, drawing audible gasps from the assembled crowd.
Yeah, it was hard to understand.
I stole the line from you. I give you credit for it because when I first came and JTV was going and you were the teacher, my teacher, when I came to the community, I would watch you religiously every night, and you would always say when you were talking about the day and what you had on the agenda, if that's not enough, and I know that it is, and you'd bring something else out. And so having you folks there, it just came to mind that this is not enough, and I know that it is. Here's one more thing, and so we were able to announce the Jackson College Advantage, which was work that we've been doing for some time to be able to better serve our community.
It's amazing. Free college, free student fees for everyone in Jackson County, providing they meet the family household income threshold, which is pretty high.
It's pretty high.
Yeah.
When you see a lot of these similar programs, rarely do you see that income level at a $75,000
Exactly.
range.
I believe us to have the highest income threshold. So for beginning this year with high school graduating seniors, so seniors of 23, if their family household income is $75,000 or less, and I do believe that's the highest, and an expected family contribution or an EFC of $11,000 or less, we will pay their tuition and we will pay their registration fees. Really the only thing that the students need to pay beyond that is for their own books, and we've got a digital book, so it's never
Right.
more than $70 a class.
Wow.
Which is, we worked really hard to bring that down from hundreds of dollars down to a maximum of $70 per class. And then any consumable fees that they have. And of course, if I'm in a welding class, I might have to buy stick, or I might have to buy angle iron, or I might have to have a robe, or so whatever I need, goggles, or for different classes in chemistry, those kinds of things. So other than that, we are paying your tuition, and we're paying your student registration fees, and it's really due to braided funding that really came together in a good way. Our Jackson College Foundation really leaned in to be able to assist us. I really appreciate the leadership of the foundation board, who's been very steadfast in helping to generate sufficient revenues. The college itself and our board making that decision, but then also federal and state resources that we've been able to bring together. So that was all braided around to be able to get us to this level and offer this opportunity to all Jackson County high schools, and even what we would call our extended high schools, which have part of the school district coming into Jackson County. They're also served as well.
What a just enormous benefit for this community.
Yeah. And the reason we're going with 12 semester credit hours is because we found out that momentum matters. So if you are taking 12 semester credit hours, the research shows that if you have that kind of aggressive approach, you're more likely to persist and complete. If you take 1 or 2 classes a semester, life kind of gets in the way. So if we can really kind of lean in, and that's what the value is we think of providing this resource, get in, focus, get it done, and get out, and then get into the workforce. Get into transferring to a baccalaureate granting institution.
Oh, that's just one of many exciting things happening on Central Campus at JC this summer. No tumbleweeds are rolling around this summer.
Chance.
We've got something going on all the time, and we've got an open house coming up where everyone's welcome to come out and check out all the new at JC.
We hear so many comments of, wow, we didn't know what happened at Jackson College. The campus looks different when I was here 20 years ago. And so our Board of Trustees, in fact, Trustee Lake has been a strong proponent of having the community invited regularly out to campus. So we'll have a great event out there and food and those kinds of things. So we welcome the entire community to come and see your community college.
One thing I noticed about the ribbon cutting is the leadership that you have and the similar faces that are committed to Jackson College. Talk a little bit about that, because it's so noticeable when you're out there.
Well, thank you, Andy. That's something that we've been very intentional about, and it has to do with culture. It has to do with something that I noticed after first coming to the institution, that not everybody was committed to being there. For some, it was a job. For some, it was just a paycheck, and we needed to get serious about our mission. And so we focused on what our passion and purpose is, what we want to value, what we'll stand for, and what we won't. And we implemented a number of strategies that started first with hiring. How do we hire people? Rather than hiring people who look like me and think like me, we wanted to have diversity. We wanted to have diversity of thought. We wanted to be able to have people who are committed to love and care and service of others, that giving of yourself to someone else is important, that it's not necessarily a cup of tea for everybody, but we wanted to find people who were into the service of other people. We focused on making sure that we hold ourselves accountable, that we make sure that we bring our best selves forward. We implemented, in addition to mission, vision, and values, which most organizations have, we created 13 beliefs that describe what we would stand for. And our leadership council hires everybody, so it goes through 3 tiers of hiring and evaluation, but we make sure that they have a good cultural fit with our organization. So that the reason that the people are there, the reason that our turnover rate is so low, is because we have people of passion and purpose. We are a purpose-driven people given to the education and advancement of our community, to advancing democracy and education. And we make that decision with the most important decision that we could ever make, and that's the hiring of the people. And once they're here and they see that experience, and we pay as well as we can, provide good benefit package, and I think it also is demonstrated in our daily actions. So when COVID came, I came right out at the beginning and said, no one here during COVID is going to lose their job. It is those kinds of actions in big ways and small ways. When the inflation came along, when COVID was tapping jobs from partners and spouses, we came along outside of negotiated contracts and said, we're going to provide additional financial resources and put that into your base compensation to be able to help you through very difficult times, and that continues. We celebrate on Wednesdays during the summer. We have Hot Dog Wednesdays. And the only requirement is, I'll give you a free hot dog and salad and bag of chips and a soda. Just sit with somebody else and find out how amazing each individual is. You know, that some of them are involved and they play instruments and they're engaged in their church. They're donating their time here. They're doing all kinds of cool things. And if we can get beyond, you know, just the kind of the transaction of who I'm working with, is really understand who is this amazing person that I get to be with every day. In fact, I'm with my colleagues more than I am with my family, just by a function of time.
Right.
Who are these amazing people? And we get to know each other, and we realize we're together in this mission of educating and providing human development. You know, some people say that we're in the college business, and I say no, we're in the human development business. We got to think holistically, so curricularly, co-curricularly, like with our student athletes and residence hall experiences and the like. I just think that's important, and that's been a focus that we've had on development of our culture over many years. And you're seeing the benefit of it, which you noted.
Clearly, seeing the benefit, and so lucky to have Jackson College here and growing in our town. Thank you so much for being here and all you do.
It's my honor. Thank you for having me on today.
President and CEO at Jackson College, Dr. Dan Phelan. More of the morning show right after this break.